Oh, hi. Um, it's been quite a while, huh? Uh, 3 weeks goes by pretty fast, doesn't it? Anyway, what's happening, Ice Cubes? It is quite a very, very big day today, isn't it? Um, God, it's it's so crazy to think that it has been 7 years today. 7 years that I, as a scrappy little college dropout, started making YouTube videos. Um, I'm I'm kind of amazed that things have kind of gone the way they have. Uh, I'm also kind of sad that things way have gone the way they have too in some areas. But uh it's been a journey. That's for sure. It's been a very big adventure for both me and you. Uh cuz good god. I there's part of me that expected that I would never have been able to keep up making YouTube videos for as long as I have. But a part of me has also been like, yeah, what else would I be doing other than making YouTube content? And it's been an interesting it's been an interesting time, especially recently with my time off and everything that I've taken for most of this month. That I've had a lot of time to just sit back and reflect on things, and I even finally cleaned myself up. Uh, um, and I clean up pretty well, don't I? It's almost like I wasn't a degenerate shut in for a while there, didn't it? um, and I've been really reflecting on a lot of the different stuff that's gone on over the course of my channel. I kind of want to talk about a little bit of everything, from start to finish. Uh, Mainly because, well, I mean, I've never done that before. I've never just sat down and talked about what was kind of going on during my mindsets for each of the years that I've been doing this. So, we might as well start at the beginning. Way back in ancient history, back in the Stone Ages of 2016. 2016 was a very interesting time for me. Not only was it the year I graduated high school, it was also the year that I was taking my first steps into adulthood. Because I turned 18 way back in April before I even graduated. So it was during the time where I decided that I no longer wanted to be medicated. So I was coping through that during my last few weeks of high school, which, if you ask me, was probably the best decision I ever made. It's probably the most mature decision I've ever made because I've never been better since then. I would say I had some of the worst times of my life, uh, was during when I was medicated, and I have a lot of uh apprehension when it comes to medication in general, prescription medication, I mean. So, for those of you who don't know, I was diagnosed with ADHD at a very young age. And I was medicated since childhood. Because that's what you did back then. Back in the 4 years of the early 2000s. Um, and it's something that I've had to cope with for a long time, of having 15 years of my life being completely doped up on whatever medication it was that a doctor decided to prescribe me or try, because I was difficult. I never really had any super huge problems in school. Like, my attention span had a lot to be desired. That's for sure. I didn't have a lot of patience, but again, I was a child. That's to be expected. And I always had very stellar grades. I hardly ever fell out of the A range. And so it was very interesting for me to look back on all of those years of having to be in school all the time, where suddenly I have all this free time on my hands. I don't have to be in school from 8 to 3 every day. So that's 7 hours of my life I got back. And I was kind of curious of what I wanted to do with it. And my initial ideas was to go to college, like every good boy is supposed to. And I found out very quickly after the first few weeks of my semesters that I hated it. I hated it a lot. And I took my sweet ass time to decide whether or not I wanted to drop out or not. And at one point I decided, you know what? Enough is enough, and I dropped out after my first couple weeks of my second semester. Because I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because I took a summer semester is the reason. And I took so many classes. But then suddenly I remembered, because the creation date of my channel was a year before, almost a full year before I ever uploaded anything. December 9th of 2015. And my original idea was to upload on that date rather than when I did start uploading. And that's just kind of my line of thinking, because I wanted it to look good on my anniversary. But at one point I decided, you know what? I have my college laptop, which I still have. It's still here. It's still very broken. But this laptop is 7 years old. I used this when I was in college. It's very dirty. You can't see it on the camera, but it is very dirty because I'm a weirdo and I like keeping mementos of things that remind me of when I was different. Also, I just realized the cover for the the disc reader is busted. But I'm sure if I ever got the hard drive extracted and put on a thumb drive that I could put into this computer, I'm pretty sure I'd find almost all of the same stuff that I had before I switched computers. So I played my very first Let's Play on that laptop. I got my very first microphone. I used an external mouse because I didn't want to use the touchpad because that was too much of a pain in the ass, obviously. And I had 2 USB ports to my name, so one was for my microphone, and one was for my mouse. And that was the long and the short of it. And I think I just got a pair of cheap headphones. And that was it. And it's very weird to look back on some of that old stuff. Did I even wear headphones back then? I don't remember. I don't think I did. I think I just had the sound on my laptop turned down very low so that it wouldn't pick up on the microphone. or I had the microphone set so far away from the laptop that it didn't matter. But I used to have this huge wooden desk, and it was made out of like particle board or something, but it was this weird corner desk that had way too many, like, it had its own drawer that I had stuff in, and it became a mess fairly regularly. My desk now, compared to that old desk then, is far cleaner and far more organized than that other desk ever was. And I got this desk like 2-3 years ago. So that's that. But and I just started. I had a whole list of games that I wanted to play and that I got. Because I had a bunch of Steam cards on hand and I had some extra cash on hand. And it just... I think at one point I bought like 30 to 40 games in one sitting because I wanted to get to all of them at one point, and I think I got to some of them, but I don't think I ever managed to get to all of them. And this was back on my old Steam account. My Steam account, for those of you who don't know, got phished a couple years ago. And for those of you who don't know what phishing is, basically, they send you this link, and apparently I clicked on it, and they were able to fish out my Steam information, and they stole it and locked me out of it. So like $3,000 worth of games was lost to me, not to mention my save files, and achievement list and whatever. But honestly, I didn't care that much. I just made a new account and rebought a whole bunch of games, and that's the Steam account that I have now. I don't even think people who I still have on my friends list at that point know that that account is shut down. Or completely rebranded. I don't fucking know. But basically, they tried to extort me for money to get it back, and they wanted the full worth of the amount of games that I had bought, which was like $3,500 worth of games. Like I had 200 some games on that account. But it was also around the time that I had a problem with my computer at one point. That I don't remember what happened. You also have to keep in mind, this was my first experience trying to manage my hard drives the way I do now. Like, I manage my hard drives like an artist at this point. My hard drives are very neatly organized and very secure. Except for my tertiary hard drive. I keep it completely empty because I don't trust it anymore. Because at one point or another, everything in there got corrupted, and shut down that hard drive. So I had to recover it. It took forever. And finally, when I managed to get access to it, I just deleted everything in it. Which, honestly, it wasn't anything important. It was just a whole bunch of mods that I had downloaded at one point that I was, it was like Skyrim, DMC5, what else? Xenoverse 2. I can't remember what the other games were, but those were the big ones that were like 40 to 50 gigabytes worth of mods. And I wiped it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get rid of them. Personally, I'm very sad. Today, I'm very sad that I had to get rid of those, because a lot of those mods are no longer available now. Like, they've been delisted and removed, so I can't ever use them again. I've had that happen before. But I had a problem with Steam, and I had to basically wipe my my Steam off of my hard drive, which was only 500 gigs at the time. So I had such limited space, so I had to pick and choose which games I wanted to do, and swap them out for other stuff as I did other stuff. And at one point, I just had to wipe it and completely reinstall everything. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. And you also have to keep in mind, my internet now is still shit, but it was even shittier then. Like, now I get at least, at average, I get 10 to 15 megabit upload. Now. Back then, it was maybe 1 to 2 megabytes per. It was awful. I've always had trouble getting internet access down in this room, and I think a lot of it has to do with the foundation on 2 of the 4 sides of the walls. So this wall and that wall behind me is foundation. Behind the drywall, if I was to punch through it, it's concrete foundation. So yeah. But it was very much an experimental time for me because I was still very closed off as a person making these videos, and I was just trying to do my best to be as expressive and outgoing as possible with whatever it is I was doing. Not to mention, I was also using the laptop inbuilt webcam. The webcam that's right here, I used that for years as my camera. And I did a whole bunch of stupid shit with it too. Which one of them I'll get to in a second because I want to show this off. It's still a camera glare effect that still works. I'll show it off in a minute. But that first year was a very, very big thing for me. And I'm very happy with how a lot of that stuff turned out. I'm very happy with how decent it was. Amnesia, Dead Space 2, Force Unleashed 1 and 2. Fuck. It was just an overall great time. For me personally. And it was just something that I cherished trying to do all the time. Oh yeah, Skyrim was the big thing for my first year. Is I took on this excessively long test of my patience to play through the entirety of Skyrim and Fable, but through the entirety of Skyrim as fast as possible. So I was uploading like 2 or 3 Skyrim videos a day. But also you have to keep in mind, I was also using a very, very, very shitty recording software called plays.tv. And it was free back then. I don't know if it's still a thing now. I've never looked. I don't really care to look. I use OBS, and I'm using Bandicam for my camera right now. I updated it recently, and it seems like it's a lot more stable than it was before. I stopped using it because it kept crashing my games. And I don't like using Bandicam anyway because it has to hook into the game to record it. But with OBS, I can just record my display, and I don't have any risk of losing my footage if my game crashes. Which some games, yeah, I have to worry about that. Other games, I don't really have to. Especially if your game is modded and you're trying to record it, please use display capture. Because otherwise, you will lose your footage. Which actually happened a lot. Let me tell you. I lost a lot of footage just from games crashing. and I tried my best to make it work. It worked really well with Skyrim. Like, with Skyrim, it worked amazingly well. And at one point, I tried to use fraps, but I didn't like the fact that I couldn't get my face into it because this was before I was editing anything, even a little. And even today, I don't like to edit things very much, but I actually have editing skills that I can use. So that first year for me was very, very eventful. And I remember a lot of it. I remember because my desk used to be in that corner before I ever moved it to this corner. So it was back here, and I would... Shit. My blanket fell off my chair again. So my desk would be here, and I would sit here. So it was very different to the way I do things now. Like, my desk is up against a different wall now. It's not in the corner anymore. Like, my corner is like 2 feet away from me now. Because it's easier to roll in and out and move things around, and I have a whole bunch of spare parts and stuff over there. Mostly for this computer, honestly. I have some old equipment in there too. Some old headphones and other stuff that I tried to use. It's been that first year for me was very much a me coming out and actually being a person for the first time. Because it opened me up to way more things. And as the years kept going, I became more and more open to different ideas. Like, at one point, I tried to start a podcast with Quentin, a religious fanboy. He was religious fanboy back then too. He had been doing YouTube 2 years longer than I have. Is it 2 years? Oh god, I'm gonna fact check myself right now, right on camera. I'm gonna fact check myself. There's his channel. January 10th, 2015. So a year longer, almost 2 years longer. So it's definitely he had more experience doing things than I did. And it was a very fun time because it was something that I was very passionate about, and I was very much like, yeah, this is something very fun, and a lot of it was just me sitting down and playing a video game, not really commentating as much as I do now. Like, what I would say I do now is less just sitting down and playing a video game and just commentating my way through a video game, which I'm sure some people would be like, well, there's not that much of a difference, is there? It's still a Let's Play. And I mean, yeah, it still falls under that general idea of a Let's Play, but it also has a lot more me inserted into it, because there's a lot of things that I do that nobody else on YouTube does. Like, there's a lot of sayings that I say that I don't think I've ever seen said on YouTube. Even to this day, I think I'm very much a unique individual in that aspect. And my personality isn't something that's very well broadcast. Oh, and now that I'm thinking about it, let's talk about how my voice has changed uh, over the past 7 years. My voice was a lot higher than it is now. My voice is way deeper now than I ever thought it ever could be possible. I always thought I'd be a high-pitched, scrawny person for the rest of my life, but my voice has very much matured in a lot of different ways. I have a lot more control over my voice now too. Except when there's something in my throat. Ugh. But it's very apparent every time I go back and I go through some of my old stuff. At one point, I want to go through with a friend of mine to watch some stuff that I've done before, just to give them a real appreciation of how different I was. And there are some times where I wish I could go back to that mindset of being just a free-spirited 18, almost 19-year-old kid. Because I turned 19 during my first year. But a lot of that was just me having fun. And I had a great time. I don't regret a single thing during that first year. Rolling into year 2 was very different. Because year 2 was suddenly the time that I decided that I wanted to take it more seriously. Why do these videos have likes and no views? Or, no, I'm sorry, it's comments that are at 0. My bad. I'm stupid. 2016 was a fun year, but 2017 was the year that I decided I wanted to kick it up a notch. Because I had been successfully uploading very, very, very consistently. Like, I uploaded way too much. That's for damn sure. I uploaded way too much, way too often. Data is currently unavailable. Why? Is it because some of my videos are privated? I have no idea. But 2017, when I hit my first year anniversary, it was very, very much something that I wanted to take seriously. Because I was just having fun during my first year. I was just having a good time. I was just doing a thing that I enjoyed a lot. But 2017 was the year that I wanted to try and grow my channel. And I think no, I hit 10 subscribers. No, I hit 10 subscribers in 2017. But during my first year, I don't remember if it was 20 subs that I hit. Which I'm gonna say, being that young, and yes, I'm gonna say it, almost 19. That's still young, especially for me. Especially for me. I would still consider that young. But it was very gratifying to suddenly have subscribers who liked watching my stuff. And back then, almost every single video of mine got 0 views. And honestly, I didn't care. I don't care now, and I didn't care then. I kind of care now. I'm gonna amend that statement. I kind of care now, that some of my videos get views, but I don't care about having like huge amounts of views. I don't really care about that. I don't aim to have my view numbers be reflective of my sub number. And honestly, that's probably the way I want it to stay. Did I finish my Skyrim playthrough in my first year? I don't remember that at all. That's so weird to think about. I finished my full comprehensive playthrough doing absolutely everything in Skyrim in a single year. And I didn't even start at the beginning of my first year. Which, for those of you who haven't figured it out yet, September 25th is my channel anniversary. So, starting from September 25th of 2016 all the way to the 25th of September in 2017, I had like 250 some videos in my first year. Which, I gotta say, is pretty fucking wild. That's crazy. I'm looking through it. I probably should let me do this. Since I'm gonna be looking through some of this stuff. I'm gonna go through it all, cause there's a lot. Oh no, I hit 20 subs before. I hit 20 subs during my first year too. Oh, I replaced my laptop in the first year? I thought it was way later than that. Damn, I had this tower for so long then. Like, I did the whole installation of this computer on camera. And then I switched my webcam to this garbage saturated camera. And then I started doing stuff. And it was a good time. I had a pretty good time doing all this stuff. Oh, I did Knights of the Old Republic. I never finished this playthrough. That's why that playlist of Knights of the Old Republic, it says discontinued next to it. It's because I never went back to it. God. Oh, I started Xenoverse 2 during that time as well, because I was playing it in my off time a lot. I got very addicted to Xenoverse 2 in my off time. God, there's just so much here. I did so much in such short amounts of time. Like, I was uploading, like, God, that's 5 videos in one day. I was at 600 videos? God, I was fucking crazy. That's half the number of the amount of videos that I have right now. Right this second, I made half of the videos that I uploaded in the entire history of my channel in 1 year. I was fucking degenerate. God. it's... That blows my mind. Why is this one considered a short? I don't understand. This was back before shorts were even a thing. 2017. Ah, Cry of Fear. This was like my third attempt to try and do Cry of Fear. And as far as I could tell, it went pretty okay. Yeah, we're coming up on my final weeks of my first year. Oh yeah, I did Amnesia: The Dark Descent remastered. I took my entire several part playthrough of Amnesia and made it one single video. It was the first time I ever did a video like this. And it was what inspired me to make a compilation of my best moments. So basically I threw together a whole bunch of random crap and it turned into the best of Matty Icedq 1. Volume 1. This is where it all started. And I haven't made one in 2 years. 3 years. Fuck. Maybe I should. I do, however, I will say, I do have all of this footage to comb through at one stage. I need to move these to Evil Within. Evil Within should be coming out next week. And as you can probably tell, I'm recording this early because I can, but it's something that when this video comes out next week, it is the week after that. Yeah, it'll be next week on the 1st of October. All of my other video stuff will start coming out. I have all of my Amnesia videos and stuff. I have Astroneer, I have Elden Ring, Callisto, Evil Within, Jedi Survivor. I can make a big comeback with the best of Matty Icedq Volume 5 whenever I want to. And I've been considering it. So yeah, I uploaded, God, 4 videos on my first year anniversary. I was really happy with how well this video was received. Like, for me, back then, at 20-some subs, this is good. And then I continued with Cry of Fear. Yeah, year 2 was where I just started cranking out as much fun stuff as I could. This was back before Subnautica was even released. It wouldn't release until for another few months. And I hit 700 videos. God, it's crazy. Oh, the Skyrim mods showcase. Basically what I was doing with these mod showcases is I would pick a couple of mods from the popular of that week and just showcase them. I would play them. And at one point I had a developer of, what was it? Dark Shadow Arena or something? He was talking to me about my stuff. I was not using Discord yet. I was using Bandicam at this point, though. I had switched from Plays to Bandicam because it was better. This was the point. This was when I moved all my stuff around. Where I moved from that corner to this corner. I did Sonic Generations. Oh, I started but never finished Cuphead. This was back when Beyond Skyrim Bruma came out. And I was very, very excited for that, and I loved it. I wish I could have played it more, but I've never been able to make it work since. This was when I got a better webcam. Back when I was making New Year's resolutions. I was still playing Overgrowth with Quentin. I miss that. I really miss that. I want to do that again sometime, but I would have to rebuy Overgrowth. Oh yeah, I did the Castlevania Lords of Shadows games. I did one video on the Lost Chapters for Fable, the original version of the game, with the original graphics and everything. It was ported to PC. I think I have 2 videos with the same title, which I try not to do. I try not to retread over some of my old titles, but when you do something like this for so long, it's almost impossible. I think that's one of the very few times that that's ever happened. Oh yeah, I did Try Not to Laughs. When was the time that I started getting into collab stuff? When did that happen? Here it is. Way back in 2018. This was the very start of 2018. So basically, I had started watching a streamer. His name is Legit Dinosaur. I hope he's still doing well. He's a very cool guy. I'd started watching his streams, and then all of a sudden, he introduced me to Discord. And I joined his server, and I met with a whole bunch of new people. And I suddenly had all these people that I could talk to all of a sudden. And we played games. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we kind of formed a weird friend group. And that was around the time that I met Zim. Before their transition. Zim used to be a she and now is a he. Or as far as I know it, they identify as he now. I don't know. I feel stupid for not knowing. I don't talk to Zim as much anymore, which is kind of unfortunate because they're one of my oldest friends ever from Discord. So it's very, very hard to throw that away. There's reasons to that I'll get to at one point. I hit 40 subscribers in my second year, and this was when I really started going degenerate, showing off my favorite video games, Darksiders and Darksiders 2. I did... Oh, yeah, these videos are unlisted. They should be private. Why aren't they privated? Yeah, these should be private. I put them on private, not unlisted. I deleted the playlists and should have set them to private. What is going on here? Shell, her name is Lindsay, is no longer on the internet, and she asked me to remove all the stuff that she was in. Yeah, why aren't these privated? These are for my personal only, because she trusted me to not make them public again. She asked me to do that, like, 3 or 4 years ago when she left the internet. As far as I know, she went and got married. And as far as I know, she's still doing great. And unfortunately, this is around the time that I have to introduce my next character to this list of people. And the reason why I say unfortunately, good God, we did so much stuff together. But yeah, we did Don't Starve. We did Drunk Minecraft. Like, we literally got drunk and played Minecraft together. However, it was around this period of time. It was actually during the time that I did this recording session with Lindsay that I met Mania for the first time. Now, when I have to fact check myself again.
Hello.
No, I don't want to hear you talk. Oh, did she actually take them down? Yeah, they're gone. Oh, I can't even check that anymore. Shit. Okay, well, I guess Mystic Hills is gone for good. Whatever. But I don't remember if it was around before the time she was making Mystic Hills or whatever. But this was the period in time that I met Mania for the first time. So there's that bit of lore for you. It was around March of 2018. And we just started hanging out. We started hanging out a lot. Yeah, these should be privated, not unlisted. I don't understand. The ones with Mania, almost all of the videos with Mania should have been privated, not unlisted. I don't know what happened, but I'm fixing it now. And we're fixing it live. Oh, this was around the time that I met Bart. For those of you who don't know, this was around the time I met Bart. Bart and I have been friends for a long time. About 5 years now. So, but I was hanging out with Mania a lot, and it didn't slow down my videos at all, pretty much. And I was just kind of doing my own thing while I was hanging out with Mania and Zim and Lindsay and Liam, which is another character that I'm not going to talk about. Oh yeah, private that. I was still doing Darksiders. I did a lot of Darksiders in one day. Holy shit. It amazes me the amount of videos that I would just consistently throw up. Oh, I need to remove this one too. We did Cards Against Humanity. I think I was drunk. This was the time I started doing custom stories. Oh, someone mass disliked a bunch of these videos. I don't know why. Who cares? Private. God. Yeah, this was another Skyrim stuff that I tried to redo, and it just didn't happen. Oh yeah, that's partially blocked because of the copyright. And it was because of the music that would play when I was playing those. Oh yeah, I recorded these on my PS4, which was garbage. The quality of those is garbage. 1,000 videos in 2 years. I made 1,000 videos. God, that's crazy. I started doing Darksiders 2. Yeah, we're still only in my second year. I'm only just now approaching the end of my second year. And during this time, I was working, and I was doing... I don't know what these are. Oh, I used this. I should upload... I should rename this and make that public, because that's actually a really fun uh set of stuff that I did. I had a lot of fun with that skit. Oh, this was also the time that my hair started growing out, and when I started growing my hair out the first time. God. It was such a different time for me. For me personally. What is going on? Is it my internet connection? Let me reset it. Oh, yep. 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 Here it is. And this is when... That one is still public. Oh, it's because this one had Lindsay in it. That's right. Yeah, these should be privated. And this was during the time where I was working with Mania. Oh, there it is. Best of Matty Icedq Volume 2. This is when I was working with Mania on Mystic Hills. These videos did super well. But they're privated. A lot of this stuff is privated because these are the people I miss. Those are the versions of them that I miss. Yeah, this was when I started tying my hair up. It's always been a mess when I tie my hair up. It's a mess. It was a mess then, and it's a mess now. This was the video that I made publicly thanking Mania for involving me in Mystic Hills. Because I pretty much became her writer within the span of maybe a month. Oh, I hit 100 subs during my third year. We're getting into the absolute best year of my life ever. 2019 was by far and above the best year I ever had for a lot of things. Look at my hair. Look at that hair. Those are my old glasses before they broke. And I got these. God, I was just knocking it out. it it amazes me that I never really talked about Mystic Hills on my channel, because it was something that I was so passionate about, yet I didn't share it in the channel. Wait, was it this year that I started working at Cracker Barrel? Yeah, because I got my hair cut before I started working for them. And I kept my hair short for a very long time. All these are private. This needs to be private. That's Mania, by the way. That's who that is in the thumbnail. She wasn't happy that I took that video. But honestly, it doesn't matter now. Oh god, we made huge... I hardly uploaded anything in May. I think this was around the time that I started slowing down uploading a lot. Yeah, I started slowing down my uploads a huge amount. And I think it had to do with, because I went to Arizona to meet Mania in person for the first time. Obviously. I should probably talk about that a little bit. So back then, Mania and I were a lot closer than we ended up being later. We were on calls basically every single night, because she was a night owl, and that was around the times that she started working on her stuff. But I would come home from work, because sometimes I would work evenings, and I would immediately call her, and we would just hang out. We would just hang out and talk about stuff. And it was great. Like, we got to know each other very, 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 very well. And then she involved me in Mystic Hills after it blew up. And after that blew up, she asked me to start writing with her for season 2. And I wrote most of it, like, and she has said it herself multiple times that 99% of what Mystic Hills ended up being came from me. And considering what I've been able to do with the original version to what I'm making it into now, yeah, I would say yeah. And I've very much... Let me make this extremely clear. I have mellowed out very much so about the whole situation between Mania and myself. I still think... That doesn't mean that I still think that she is a very manipulative and lying individual in general. It hasn't changed my views on that at all. A lot of what we talked about in the call that Chris made us be in, a lot of it was just the two of them trying to gaslight me into admitting fault. I have the whole call on record. I have it. I also have all of our DMs on record. But this file right here, that's 10 gigabytes and almost 2 hours long, that is the Discord call that we had together. I recorded all of that because Chris threatened litigation legal action if I did not. And I have that call on record just in case they decide to try and pull the same stunt twice. If they do, sure, I'll have some legal ramifications for breaching the wiretap law for Illinois, but I don't care. I did it for my safety, and that's the long and the short of it. But in terms of, and I think I said it best in my, I changed my description. I said it best when I changed the description of my Mystic Hills teaser. As far as I know, they have made no moves against me. As far as I know. Oh god, that made that public now? Uh-oh. Whoops. I didn't know it would do that. If I knew that would do that, I wouldn't have done that. Whoops. But yeah, I was there for 2 weeks. And I uploaded these when I got home. Or no, how did I don't remember. But back then, Mania was very different. I'm going to say that flat out. Mania was very different back then. She was a lot more open and a lot more honest about a lot of the things that she had going on in her head. And after writing, it was after this trip where I met her in person that things made a turn. And I don't know if it was my fault. I don't know if it was her fault. I don't know if it was something that I did or something that she did. I have no idea. But she very much closed off from everyone after that. And I don't know why. But I kept moving on as if nothing happened. Like, I didn't know anything was wrong. I didn't know if I did anything wrong. No one ever said anything about it. We talked about it and we reminisced about it as if it was just a great time. Like, we had a great time. Can you stop that? I'm looking through here. My discontinued Stick of Truth playthrough. That's when I did OG Resident Evil 4, the original. With the absolutely garbage PC port that they had for it, but I did it anyway. We finished all of the Dead Space 3 co-op because we put it off for a long time. We finished all of it within the span of like 2 days. Because we recorded all of these in one night, and then we recorded these two on the last night. Oh yeah, my Super Saiyan project where I started messing around with voice modulation and stuff. The DLC for Darksiders 3 came out. God. This was just such a different time for me. Just for me personally, it was so different. Oh yeah, a lot of my videos are going to be copyrighted because of my outro. But I don't care. Yeah, that's right. I was working on my best of 3, which to this day, I think my top 2 videos that I've ever made that have ever been really edited and super well done is my best of volume 3 and best of volume 4. Those are the best videos that I've ever made ever. And I was gone. This video has a lot of personal. Why am I watching this? I'm gonna make myself cry.
You're never this lovey. You're still my baby, even though you're old. Never grow up, pancake. Always be my baby. Are you gonna say hi? She hates the camera.
She did. She absolutely
Oh,
hated the
you're
camera.
okay. I'm not getting up. Ow, that's my nipple. Get your claws out.
That video has a lot of significance to me because Pancake passed away last year. It's almost been 2 years, actually. Uh, fuck. She was 19. And she still had a lot of life left in her, but I think her eyesight was starting to wane. Like I started noticing before she got hit by a car is what I was told because I was not here for it. They ran off and buried her while I was at work, and I am still very upset to this day about it because I said goodbye to her that morning when I left for work, and when I came home, she was gone. Like, I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't get to see her. That was it. So, that video has a lot of special significance to me personally. I mean, so does this video. This video I poured my absolute heart and soul into. This was the video that I decided I'm going to go all out and I'm going to learn how to edit and use things properly, and I did. And I made this video using Movavi Studio. I use Filmora now. Wondershare Filmora. I use that now. But Movavi had a lot of cool, fun stuff that I used a lot. Then I did Outlast. Yeah, that one's age restricted because, of course, it is. It needed to be. Darksiders Genesis came out. I got sick. I don't remember what this video is about. It was probably just a stupid little thing that I did. Also, keep in mind, I'm still using the same computer at this time. And that's why a lot of my gameplay footage looks so bad. And it's because I was still using the same, what was it, a 78, I don't remember, but it was a really outdated graphics card. This is the year that very quickly, I don't know why this video is so popular. Why does this video have 1,200 views? This was the year when things fell apart. And this was the time where I started to become very unsure of what I wanted to do. Good God. I uploaded 7 videos that day? We're getting there. We're getting there. This. I will always remember what happened on this day. February 11th, 2020. On February 11th, 2020, was the day that I had my falling out with Mania. And I kept making videos and putting it off as long as I could. I did a second The Dark Descent revisit. I'm tempted to do a third. I haven't played The Dark Descent with the remastered mod that I have, even though it's caused me to not be able to play some of this stuff. Oh yeah, this was my emotionally drunk tirade. This is also when things took a turn as well. I made a Discord server called the Icedq's Cooler. For those of you who are in my Discord now and are confused, the server that I have now does have the same name, but is not the same server. I deleted that server at the end of 2020. And we're going to get into the reasons why. Because it was during this time that I was still in Mania's old server. And I was just kind of hanging out in the VCs and meeting a bunch of people. And then I met a bunch of these people, and I started hanging out with them. And I think the reason why this video is called Live is because I was broadcasting it to the people in the VC with me. This is where things took a turn. This was also during the time that I met the person who made this for me. And I still hope that person is doing well. Are you serious? You're not going to load? There you go. Yeah, this was the video for the first time that I talked about all of the Mystic Hills issues. All of my issues with Mania in general. And I was also trying to get back into being consistent again. But this is also the time that my computer died. When did this happen? When did my computer die? My computer died at this point. Somewhere around here. Yeah, this was when my computer died. And I just started making a shitload of vlogs. Oh, I know what this was. This was probably around the time where I got the most support. This was also when things took a turn. So, the New Moon project, for those of you who don't know what that is, it was this. Mystic Hills Origins. And for those of you who don't know what Mystic Hills Origins is, do I still... Is it still here? I uploaded this to Wattpad because it was before I deleted it. This is only half of it. The other half is lost forever. And I don't know what's going on with my internet right now, but it is being very slow. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. I very much had a lot of this written. But this is only the first half. And this has nothing to do with what I'm doing with Mystic Hills now. But yeah, I uploaded this half, and then I've never updated it again. I've never touched it. It's only there as a sort of legacy thing where I have it, but I'm never going to use it because it's very much tied into the old Mystic Hills and not with the new one that I'm doing. And this, you see the big jump in time here. Let me explain what happened, because between September, almost a whole month passed before I ever uploaded anything again. So let me give you a full breakdown of stuff that happened. So basically, during the time that I uploaded this last video, did I delete that video where I said I was leaving Discord? Well, I basically I took a month break off of Discord because of what happened in my server. So a lot of things happened. So a lot of stuff started happening very quickly during that time because it was very clear to a lot of people that this whole beef that I had with Mania was kind of going nowhere. So everybody started picking a side and started sticking to that side. And unfortunately for me, I was not the popular side. I'm not the one with 50,000 subscribers. And a lot of backstabbing took place, and some people have owned up to it, and some people haven't, and some people have said nothing. But essentially, a lot of crazy shit happened in my server. I banned a bunch of people, because at this point, I had over 100 people in my server. And I banned maybe 20 people in one day. Over what happened. And essentially what I did is I went through all of my Discord friends and removed everyone. I removed every single person from my Discord who I was friends with. I announced that the server was going to be deleted. I announced the server was going to be deleted. I announced that the New Moon project was canceled. Everybody who took part in that project, which was going to be an animation project, everybody was paid for that already. So it wasn't that big of a deal for them. They didn't care, as far as I know. I only talked to maybe one or two of them now. Liam Lack, who I was a huge fan of his work that he did for me. I still talk to him. I follow his YouTube and his live streams and stuff still. He's a really cool guy. Do I still have it? I'm going to pull this over here. Oh my god, I do. I still have it. I still have everything. So basically, these are all the character designs that I had commissioned. From two artists in particular. And I had some very talented people that I wanted to work on it. Hey, there's my tattoo. Yeah, that's my tattoo. You can't see it. Yeah. It's my tattoo. For those of you who don't know the significance of that, it's the mark of the Mystic King from Mystic Hills. That's what that's from. Do I have it? Yes, I do. I don't have a way to play MP3s. That's odd. Can I open it in my... Sorry about that. Can I open it in my editing software?
A historical reconstruction, you say? Well, I do have a bunch of old tomes in the basement that you can look at and see if they're what you need. A historical reconstruction, you say?
Yeah, Lack is incredibly talented.
Well, I do have a bunch of old tomes in the basement, and you can take a look at and see if they're what you need. You! Wait, isn't that dangerous? Once you do that, you won't be able to turn back.
Yeah. Lack is incredibly talented. I was very, very, very impressed with his take on Hunter specifically. And as far as I'm concerned, that's Hunter's canonical voice from here until the day I die. I'm gonna be honest. Fuck, that reminds me. Anyway, But yeah, all of that was canceled. I had a lot of work done for it. Um, that's Jen, my scriptwriter, in that top right corner. We hung out a lot and we talked a lot. She was really great. Um, and that's kind of the stuff that was going on. And I completely left Discord for a long time. And I did not come back for quite a while. And then I started doing all of this stuff. Resident Evil 7, Subnautica. This is when I started to try and do Evil Within. This was my time in which I was trying to renew myself to try and do more YouTube because I had been very much beaten down at this point. I was very much not great. Then my best of 4. I made my best of 4. Because I promised I would do it. This is when I was using OBS a lot more. This is when I started getting back into this stuff. $1,500. This is during my 4th year. I finally hit 1,500. Like, keep in mind, in 2 years, I hit 1,000 videos, and it took me 2 years more to hit 1,500. Which, considering how things went, shouldn't surprise anyone. This is when I did Doom Eternal. This is when I tried to start uploading a video every single day again. And I did well. I did well for a little while. And then I hit my 5 years on this day, but I didn't make a video until after. And I didn't really talk much. Partially blocked. Why is it partially blocked? Oh, because of Dare. Oh. Got it. And I used Flight at the end. This video... I dedicated this... This was supposed to be my big 5-year video, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't have a big 5 or 6 or 7-year video right now. This was my big attempt at remembering who Mania was back then. And it was after that that Mania decided to reach out. And I'm still convinced, I don't care what she decided to say about it, I'm still convinced that it was out of a selfish desire to keep pushing me. In a lot of ways. Not just my patience, but also my tolerance. Oh yeah, forest fairies. It really sucks that B disappeared. I'm gonna say this now. For some people who are confused about why B is gone, uh, B just kind of disappeared. And as far as I know, has no intentions of ever being friends with me. I don't think it was something that either of us said to each other. I just think it's something that's kind of happened. He went through a lot over the course of a year. But at the same time, I personally, me, myself, I'm not going to go out of my way to make time for people or make efforts for people who don't want to be around. And if he didn't want to be around, that's fine. I miss hanging out with him. I miss talking to him. But he doesn't want to be around. Ooh, Metis. And this was when I met the other Matt, Anatomy of Fear. I met him after I made this video because I checked out his demo. Which, by the way, he's still working on. Like, he's still working on it as far as I know. So, that's a bit of trivia for you there. We went to another karaoke after not too long ago, like a couple months ago, and Nick did the same thing. I didn't record that one, but he had a lot of fun, and I'm glad he did. I did all of the PC version of God of War. I had a lot of fun with that. I tried live streaming it, but it didn't work. Yeah, this is when Pancake died. May 25th of 2022. Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe was a really good time. I had a lot of fun with it. And then when I did Elden Ring, yeah, there it is. We're coming on to the end of my 6th year. Yeah, this was another video from that time ago. I can't believe I still had this. I cannot believe it. Sometimes. Oh, and here it is. This was when I cut off ties with Mania the third fucking time. Because she decided that all of a sudden that nothing was her fault. And I had just had enough. Oh yeah, I unlisted that video because it was kind of unhinged. Because I literally did just kind of go off in that video. And this was when I started doing Dark Souls. Where the fuck? I didn't do anything for... Huh. That's actually funny. I completely skipped it over because I didn't do anything for my 6th year. I didn't talk about it, and I didn't do anything for it. But yeah, this year has been very, 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 very good. I'm going to say it. I think this year has probably been the best I've had since 2019. And I think this year is... I'm going to end this year as well as I can. I've probably had more interaction on my channel this year than I have any other year. I think my numbers are up so much more now than ever before. And I mean, that at the end of the day, I don't really care. But still, I think it's... I still think it's... I still think this year has probably been the best that I've had in a long time. And I'm all for it. Let me be honest. I'm all for it. And I'm pretty happy with how things have turned out, and how things have kind of ended, because I made it clear when I blocked them that I don't ever want to hear from them again. I don't want to be associated with them. I don't want to talk to them. About anything. Because they've made it clear that they have no intentions of being anything, to do anything to me but lie, manipulate, and gaslight me into being their villain. And I'm not going to be that anymore. I've grown so... I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm too old at this point. I'm too old to sit back and just take that from other people who clearly don't deserve the amount of recognition that they have, and abuse it on a daily basis to facilitate their own selfish needs. If that's what you want to do, fine. Leave me out of it. Go take your frustrations out on somebody else in your community. I've not been a part of that community for a long time. And honestly, the amount of degeneracy that goes on in the roleplay community in general is why I never wanted to do it again. I did it once and never again. And instead, I decided to do this. I decided to do this instead. I have stuff done on all 3 acts of my books. I fully intend to still write full books for Mystic Hills. I'm still not sure whether or not I'm going to change the title for it or not. Unless I come up with something better, the answer to that is no. I don't intend on ever changing it from what it is now. It'll be Mystic Hills, and it will be mine, because as far as I'm concerned, as Mania herself has said, 99% of what Mystic Hills was and is came from me. So I decided to make it mine. And I have. The amount of stuff that I've gotten into this is far and above beyond not only different from the original, but also my own. It's all come from in here. And if you want to keep arguing that I've stolen things, okay. That doesn't change the fact that the story, the character development, the worlds that I'm building, the everything that I'm doing is mine. And as far as I'm concerned, she can't take that away from me. She will always fail, and I will continue watching her fail. With great delight, by the way. Because as far as I'm concerned, she is failing. Her channel is dying. I don't care if her sub number is going up. Her views are as far down as they've ever been. And honestly, all I can say is well deserved. Because when you lie and you steal things from other more popular, better creators and not put the actual effort required into making something good, then yeah, people are going to lose interest. I'm sure some people who are subscribed to you stopped watching you a long time ago. I'm sure that's the case for my channel. I have subs who leave all the time sometimes. What the fuck did I just do? How do I not do this? I don't know how to fix this. I'm just gonna quit out. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to close my Steam and it went into big picture mode. I don't know. Anyway, this has been a long video. I've been talking way too long. And I'm not sure I have much else to say. Honestly. I don't want to say any more on the whole Mania issue because it'll just turn into another hour-long tirade. So I'm just not going to do it. Because as much as I've mellowed out over the situation and I just don't care about what they're they're saying or thinking or doing in the back behind my back, that doesn't mean I still haven't. I have forgiven. I have not forgiven. I'll never forgive them. And honestly, as much as I don't like saying it, I think I can confidently say I genuinely hate them. I think they're terrible people. I think they're garbage people. And the sooner I move on and continue on with my things, the better. And that's what I've been trying to do. That's what my whole hiatus has been about, is to give myself time to cope. To reflect and to understand all the stuff that's gone on. Anyway, that is the end of this extremely long video. I'm sorry it took so long for me to get through all of it, but that's been kind of my comprehensive look back and talking about for woo, for 7 years on YouTube. I have been doing this for a very long time. 7 years is a very long time. It is practically ancient history for the internet. I don't know why I still have my headphones on. I had my headphones on because I was doing stuff. But it's been a journey. That's for damn sure. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed my ranting and raving about my history of my channel. Because I don't do that very often. I don't just sit and talk about the effect that my videos have on me sometimes. And as I've continued, as I'm getting older, it's becoming more apparent that this is very much a part of who I am. Making videos on a regular basis is just kind of what I do, and it's baked into my DNA. Ooh, excuse me, it's baked in my DNA at this point. But it also, doing this hasn't limited my expansion into doing other things, because I very much want to do other things, and there are other things that I'm trying to pursue. And maybe someday I'll be able to achieve some sort of success outside of YouTube, which is kind of my goal. Generally, for the most part, I don't want to have success on YouTube. I would rather have success outside of it. But I do YouTube because I have fun with it. It's just something that I really, really enjoy doing in my off time. And when I can do it, I will do it. So, anyway. So again, thank you all so much for watching. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. I say it every time in my outro, but I don't think you guys understand that I genuinely mean that. I appreciate every person who ever takes time to watch my videos. You guys are amazing. How the fuck do you put up with me sometimes? And as always, I will see all of you in the next video. Bye!